So, I mean, for someone who knows jack shit about fashion, how do you get it off the ground?
Yeah, I mean, another thing about entrepreneurship is that you realize that you can talk about things, you can do things with very little knowledge. I mean, that's interesting, lah. Basically, it means that it's very easy to bullshit, lah. But anyway, how did that sort of begin? I think, one thing in general, and for startups in general, when you get into it, there's so many businesses around. Just walk outside of your house, just go to any built up the city area, you see so many businesses, F&B, residential. It's a very competitive space. So from day one, you need to be thinking about how are you different. I mean, it's possible to compete by being the same, but it's just a lot more difficult. So for us, I guess the first step was like, okay, we're doing men's shorts, right? So not many people are doing men's shorts. That's kind of different. But how do we add even more differences to that? And then one interesting thing that I thought of was like, so you look at this camera here, you look at this microphone here. Did we even have these things like? We probably only had these things in the last 100 years. If you look at the 1800s, it didn't exist, right? Computers are quite a recent invention in the last 60 or 70 years. But the clothes that we wear 2,000 years ago, it's the same thing. Now maybe there are more designs, but it's the same cotton base, it's the same yarn. Why is it that, fashion hasn't developed in the same way that other technologies have developed, right? Especially because it's things we wear every day, right?
Yeah.
So then I was thinking like, okay, so why not we do like fashion technology, right? And I guess at first we had all these grand ideas for like, you wear like the shirt and then like it can like measure your biometric data. And you can like,
so it didn't really
you can
just
change
start
your
with
temperature
shorts,
and stuff. Sorry?
It didn't really start with shorts.
Oh, sorry, it started with shorts. So at first it was like, I think in the ideation process things get a bit messy.
Oh, I see.
So we wanted to do shorts first, but we were thinking about the future. We sell all these like high tech like gear. So with shorts, maybe it can compress a bit more when you exercise and stuff. Whatever. Like we just had these crazy ideas, right? And that's the most fun part of a startup when you come up with crazy ideas. But then reality hits and you're like, okay, what can we actually do?
Yeah.
What's really slick? And then we realized that one thing that was already out there was nanotechnology, which basically means that you just so you have your shorts, right, and all things there's gaps between the particles.
Okay.
We use nanotechnology. It basically seals the gaps together. So that means that essentially, if you pour water on your shorts, it will just slip right off. So you don't get stains and stuff. So I think that was the initial USP that we were going for. And then the second thing was that...
you mean the waterproofing?
The waterproofing, the stain proofing.
Okay.
That was the initial angle we were going for. Then I think after that you realize that, hey, what other USPs can we add to it? We realized that a lot of the consumers at around this age range, they are increasingly conscious about the environment, right? So, and at the same time, when it's like stain proof, waterproof, it requires less washes. It is more environmental, right? And but to even improve that even more, we were thinking about, okay, let's actually source materials, right? So we decided to source like bamboo rather than pure cotton. Let's source materials that are more friendly to the environment.
Right.
So I think those were like the two initial USPs, and then we started the product development from there. Eventually we found like a fashion designer as well, to create that. But it really only, I guess again, it's kind of like this, right? We come up with the idea, it's up and down, up and down, up and down, but then we managed to get featured on the Straits Times.
Damn.
So again, it's to reach that big breakthrough, right? Every entrepreneur will tell you the same thing, unless you're really lucky. It's about hustling, right?
Yeah.
I think that's. I think when you get into entrepreneurship, you learn a lot about yourself as well. So I learned that I'm quite a hustler, right?
Yeah.
So I probably send emails to about like 200 journalists, and 199 of them didn't actually reply, because again, who the hell are these guys?
Yeah.
They don't even have a product. They've never sold anything before. But one journalist replied, and then we got on the Straits Times, and we actually got quite a few sales from the article there.
Wow. Okay.
That's a brief summary of that journey.